A big fan favorite. The Houston Outlaws are in their 3rd season.
Expectations have always been high from Houston.
We know that they are capable of more, but it has been an uphill battle for them trying to meld these two rosters together.
Big move by the Outlaws in the offseason.
Blase capitalizes. Jexy doing some serious work, cracking skulls, and the Outlaws glide on through to B.
And he's opening up for Boomer. The Outlaws are the ones coming out on top. And that is what you want to see if you're a Houston fan.
Houston Outlaws have won their first map of 2020 and they stay alive in this series.
The fan base has been described as enthusiastic at times, rabid at other times, rabid at other times.
Please welcome London Spitfire.
This ain't your father's London, it's not even your grandfather's London. It's a brand new team.
They set records today, records, a rookie team. I can't believe it, the London Spitfire going with complete aggression.
The Outlaws now looking mighty fine.
It has been a decisive day of Overwatch here in Houston. Teams have come to play, and they have come to crush the opposition. And the hometown crowd here definitely hoping that Houston will follow in that trend.
Definitely, the energy here is absolutely palpable. Houston fans have completely delivered. Now it's time to see what can the team do. Can they break their losing streak? I feel like the energy here is making that a very real possibility, especially with some rumored potential shifts in the lineup that we've been hearing about for Houston. We'll see if that comes to fruition.
Well, MCP here with Jake, and Jake, you of all people should know the energy that these Houston fans can bring to the table.
Yeah, I can definitely speak to it. It's amazing the level of support that the fans have always had for the Houston Outlaws during my time, and now going forward with a much different look on the lineup. I'm excited to see this new roster actually get to gel together. I feel like they've been dogged by some unfortunate issues, being sick, with travel, logistical stuff. Some of that's unavoidable, but now it's time for them to see what they can really do in the ideal situation.
And of course, they're up against their longtime rival, the London Spitfire, and this has been one of the most interesting rivalries in Overwatch history, one where even when the Outlaws weren't necessarily on top form, they could still take games away from, at times, a championship squad in the Spitfire. And Jake, you had a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, I think I heard it first that the London Spitfire players particularly hated playing against my Junkrat, which of course really just added fuel to my fire in terms of wanting to pick the character as much as humanly possible. So that was a great Season 1, but of course Season 2 came up much more dominant for the London Spitfire. So the question is, can the Outlaws flip the script back to as it was in the beginning?
Our story in Season 1, our story in Season 2. What will the story in Season 3 be? Well, part of that definitely seems to include Glister, a player that has brought some strong hit scan dominance to London, and again, a player that has filled some pretty big shoes that Prophet left.
Yeah, definitely. He's been looking so solid on any hit scan he's played, even on this Hanzo, looking really clean and well practiced. That's the sort of flexibility and depth of skill that you really need to see from these rookie players, and Glister's certainly proving that he belongs in the Overwatch.
And for London fans, it's a really cool thing because they didn't know what to expect after the departure of Prophet. And to give it a testament to how good Glister has been, this is him up against Corey, another player that is known for his dominance in hit-scan play in the Overwatch League.
Anyone who can compare favorably against Corey is a superstar in my book, so big eyes on Glister. Can the Outlaws take him down?
Of course, speaking about the Outlaws, we've had some new additions here. Muma, of course, one of the longtime favorites here of the Houston crowd, now backed up by Meko. Two players that have immense mechanical skill, even though this season they haven't quite gotten on the same page.
Yeah, it hasn't worked out ideally, but there have been flashes of greatness, and both of these players have shown that they have the raw skill, the potential to be able to bring the heat in these team fights. So we'll just need to see them gel together and hopefully succeed here in front of the hometown crowd.
And you see it in some of these clips, but of course, you talk about other players here on the Outlaws. There's a DPS favorite that we haven't seen in quite a while. Of course, that's Linkser.
The crowd is loving it, and I am too. Linkser, the Dinkser, Finland's gift to esports. Linkser, he's always been such a confidence player. It's crazy to me. Sometimes he gets down on himself while simultaneously delivering what in my eyes are some of the best performances on hitscan that I've seen in the Overwatch League. So this is a player, he needs your energy. He wants you cheering for him. So I want to hear you get loud, Houston, when we see Linkser come out.
And of course, another DPS player here for Houston. Didn't see him last week, but a big fan favorite here in the Overwatch League. New to Houston, and it's Hydration.
He's always been a low-key player, but great, intelligent plays, keeping his team alive and supporting them really effectively, always with these perfect Maywalls.
Yep, and of course, these are our Outlaws players, but who better to introduce them than familiar face in Malik?
Howdy! How's it going? You guys missed me? I missed you too. I missed you too. Yo, Houston, you guys having a good time today? Darn tootin'. All right, guys. It's the final match of the day, but the first time we're going to see the Houston Outlaws take the stage. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I am super hyped about that. So why don't we go ahead and get into this matchup and welcome to the stage their opponents, the London Spitfire. Our inaugural season champions. But now, this team is full of fresh faces, and they're going to be looking to silence the crowd today here at the first Houston Outlaws home stand. The crowd's not having that, though. Not at all, not at all. All right, guys. Houston, the London Spitfire is on stage, but it is time to bring out your team. Are you ready for your Houston Outlaws? Let's bring them on out. Up first, you can call him skilled, you can call him worthy, but you got another thing coming if you call him thirsty. Give it up for Hydration! Up next at DPS, this man has a deeper hero pool than the Atlantic Ocean. Make some noise for Blase! On support, he'll sleep dart you and sing you a lullaby. It's Repel! Next up at Tank, the only man in the Overwatch League who can beat Zarya in an arm wrestling match. It's Spree! One of the most dangerous divas to ever play the game of Overwatch, Meko! He's sexy, he's thick, and he's ready to right click. The most handsome man in Overwatch, give it up for Ruckus! Also as support, the Boop Lord of Houston, Texas, himself, Boink! He's got the face of an anime hero, but brings the pain like an anime villain, the Finnish marksman, Linkser! This man has been rolling opponents since the Houston Outlaws were a thing. The man with a heart of gold, Mooma! He drops the beat to keep his team on their feet. Give it up for Jackson! And last but certainly not least, the man who helps his team cruise to victory while wiping out backlines, it's Dante! Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your Houston Outlaws! Oh yes. It is RIP headphones up in here. The Houston fans are giving us their energy. All right. Yo, starters, go ahead, take your seats. All right. I don't know about you guys, but it's time to get this thing going. So I'm gonna go ahead and send it over to the boys at the booth. Jake and CP, take it away, guys.
Thank you, Malik. The crowd is loving it. And we'll see if the crowd is the X factor, Jake, that the Outlaws need to get their first win here of the season.
It's going to be an exciting one here in Houston. Hometown crowd hoping for a victory, and I think they might just get it today. London has always been a tough opponent for the Outlaws, but they've come out on top more often than not. So we'll see if they're able to continue that narrative, extend their series lead. I'm so happy to see Linkser out here on stage, ready to flex his McCree skills. I mean, he's always been a clutch player on hitscan, but I think this is a perfect meta for him to really dominate.
Something we talked about a lot where, you know, there could be many reasons why Linkser wasn't playing to start out, but now that he's here, I can think of no better hit scan player for the Outlaws to make a difference here today against the Spitfire.
I absolutely love this from the crowd. So much energy, bringing the chance, actually keeping it inventive at an esports event. You don't see that every day, so shout out to the Houston fans representing out here. Couldn't be more excited to get into this series.
And you know, if Houston gets off to a good start, that's going to be crazy momentum on their side because this crowd is going to lose their minds. And London, they're going to have to put it out of their minds if they want to come back.
Definitely. Houston, this is going to be a tough opponent for them, though. We have seen London put up some scrappy holds, looking pretty strong against some more dominant teams, even New York playing them quite close. So this will be a tough test for both teams, the hometown crowd on Houston's side, but London, no pushover of an opponent.
First map going to be Busan, where the Outlaws hope to reverse the course of their season and kick things off right here in Houston.
Busan, such an interesting map here. I think this is going to be an important test for Linkser. This is a very open map, all three stages offering a lot of room for McCree to play with in particular. But of course that May as well going to be coming in clutch. So Houston, I love to see this. They're just running a classic meta strategy here, exactly what you'd expect to see. And this is going to be the composition that's most likely going to decide the series. So we really want to see Houston coming out strong, dominating the match with their DPS.
So we'll see just what the Outlaws have in store. It is a joy to see Linkser out here on the McCree. Of course, for London, we got the return of Bernard.
Expect some fast trades. Ryan's getting close now, soon able to match and swing that hammer. Houston opting for the high ground side towards point. Nade does come down on a few members of the Outlaws.
Early bound Nade from trying to put the Outlaws back. Linkser looking for targets, under pressure from the Diva in the back. Muma down in the front. Linkser nowhere to go, taken on down. The Spitfire looking to take advantage here. Bernard might be down, but the rest of the Spitfire just flooding onto the points.
Outlaws get aggressive, but it ends up being punished, so great awareness from London. The Bionade to keep Meko low, and Meko just going to have to retreat to spawn, but at least he does live with that low HP. It's going to let Raucus catch up in the nano boost and actually get a lead in that ultimate charge, so there could be an opening for the Houston Outlaws to play off that, but they're going to have to make it through one of these tight chokes against the May, and that's going to be real tough.
This is going to be a key fight, too, where right now London is not boosted up on ultimate just yet. J-Mac getting close to the shatter. But there's a window for the Outlaws, but Meko just getting burned down right now. The Outlaws struggling to get good poke position as Linkser falls. The Outlaws, they still got to go. They go in 5 on 6. Muma with the nano, looking for it, but Glister got the flanking Deadeye. And this is all London so far.
It was a nice play from the Outlaws to delay there with Meko taking the poke damage, charging up the nano boost for Raucus, but unfortunately it comes to nothing. Linkser falling first to the pickoff from Shui, so great pressure from London, finding those flank pickoffs, and that's what you need to do to keep control of these COF points. Now it's London's turn to have their advantage in the ultimate economy.
They're going to have the nano boost up. J-Mac holding on to the shatter. The Outlaws must outplay London, not only in the neutral game, but also work around these ults as well. Nano boost in on the J-Mac, moving forward, shatter ready. Linkser shut down. Bernard right in his face. And London still a full 6, walking forward, just pushing Muma back. J-Mac goes charge for charge, and the Spitfire still looking good.
It's such a nice wall from Shui, cuts off the Outlaws from their supports, not able to escape, barely getting out with their lives. And J-Mac still holding onto the shatter. Bernard has his self-destruct. He's doing such a great job on this Diva, getting in Linkser's face and not letting him find any of the pickoffs he's hoping for.
So London, one fight away from taking round number 1. Absolutely loaded in options for this fight.
Nice wall from Hydration, though, does disrupt the formation a bit from London. Now Outlaws moving forward. Meko eats the Blizzard.
Muma goes for the shadow, puts Bernard to the ground. The Blizzard out of it already, so the Outlaws with an opportunity. Shui working on the outskirts. Muma finds J-Mac off the charge, and the Outlaws 6 on 5. looking for it, moving forward, and this could be the first fight win of the series.
This should be the flip. Bernard electing not to commit the self-destruct, showing that his team doesn't want to make the full commitment. They're just trying to charge some ults here, but this is going to give Houston a bit of extra cap time here as hydration, even delaying Krillin for a moment.
So right now, you're shot calling for the Outlaws. You got your first fight, you're on the board. How do you ration your ults from here?
Well, now it's pretty much even ultimate economy. Both teams with the same tools to work with, and not much advantage for either side. Jexa a little bit closer to the sound barrier, Shui a little bit closer to the Blizzard, so it's very even. It's all about not overusing ultimates as you have to hold this point. You can't give London another flip.
Deadeye opened up here from Glister. Glister looking for anything. Raucus gonna use the nano onto Mono. Ooh, Raucus taken down. Glister got directly in there. Glister's not done yet. Finds Linkser on the side, and it's just Glister working on the outskirts. The Outlaws trying to bring it back. Moon drops the shatter, put one on the ground, but it's all Glister. No one is dealing with him right now, Jay.
He's just cleaning up, starting with the backline, now moving through, chopping up those tanks. Meko did find 2 pickoffs, but it just wasn't enough. Glister got way too much done, way too quickly. Linkser back on the Tracer. He's gonna have to touch just to keep the overtime rolling, but late spawns for the Outlaws are gonna make this a tough contest.
Outlaws down in numbers, down in hope. Have to get a miracle here and now. Linkser trying to make something happen here on the Tracer. Stalling, buying time. Muma out of it again. And the Outlaws are just hoping for a miracle. Linkser is gone, and they can't stay on the point.
Just clinical play from London. I love those defensive holds from their side. Doing such a great job playing in the phalanx around their Reinhardt. They leave him out almost as bait. But you've got Bernard up on the high ground flank. You've got Shui on the Mei on his left side. So really keeping that protection, always ready to save their Reinhardt, assuming that he's going to get targeted by the Outlaws. The Outlaws, they're going to have to break one of those flanks open, try and find a way past those defensive. I can't help but feel that J-Mac is being a little bit of a bait right now, and Houston Outlaws so far have been biting.
And on the same note, I feel like Glister's been a little bit free, where Glister just kind of freelances. The one time he just dives in the Raucus and Raucus goes down. Look, I think Raucus should have been a little bit more protected there. Glister just kind of did whatever he wanted.
Now he's going to be on the Widowmaker, so this is going to be more of a question of survival for the Houston Outlaws. If they can just avoid getting picked off, then the McCree should outdamage over the course of a long fight, but Glister's been sharp on the Widow so far, so it's going to have to be perfect rotations from the Outlaws if they want to get this win.
The Outlaws need to buy a little bit of time, wait for the point to unlock and go directly in. Sanguinar in some danger. Linkser was all over him. Just barely able to get away. Point unlocking 5 seconds. And the Outlaws so far have done a good job of avoiding Glister, but now they have to make the final turn.
Now making onto the point. I like this from Linkser, staying aggressive on the flank. Wants to get an opening pickoff, giving Meko the HP advantage. That should send Bernard packing, but Meko has to go back to the point for heals. First flip for the Outlaws. That's a big deal. Control now building up.
Outlaws doing a really good job of rotating, not letting Glister get the sight lines he wants. London, though, still at a full 6. Outlaws need to get something sooner rather than later. Meko going a little bit further out, backing on up. Both teams exchanging poke, all the while dodging Glister.
This is so important, though, because Outlaws are just stacking up the charge percentage. That's the most important pickoff Glister could find, though.
Glister finds one, and now the Outlaws gonna be way down in healing. London, they sense opportunity, and now it's time to go in. J-Mac swinging the hammer. This is gonna be a quick eviction and retake the Spitfire.
Still, though, they had to wait so long for Glister to find the pick. That's almost 40% charge going to be built up for the Houston Outlaws, so they're still ahead from an objective pressure standpoint. Now the question is, can they retake into this defensively positioned Widowmaker? Glister does have the Infrasight ready. That's going to only further amplify this defensive power.
Glister hanging back right now. The Widow sight in reserve. The Outlaws doing their best to rotate around, and Linkser gonna open with the Deadeye, a May wall in his face, but he gets an elevator on the other side, looking for it, nearly gets it, but not quite, shielded away. Muma looking for the opportunity, has the shatter right now. Meko going down, Muma's still looking for it, as Linkser's in the back, down he goes! Glister finding Linkser. Muma, perhaps for better, gets to save the shatter for the next fight.
The Infrasight proving a little too difficult to outplay there. Great timing from Glister, saving the Infrasight until that very last second. So now London starting to bank up a few ultimates. Still, it's quite close on the ultimate economy. Linkser, though, gonna switch over to the Widowmaker. He wants the duel, feeling confident. That's so important. If he can take down Glister, that could be the opening the Outlaws have been waiting for.
You just hear the crowd trying to give Linkser their energy. They want to see Linkser take this Widow duel here and now.
You can definitely hear it, but it's Glister who will have the natural advantage being able to defend and let the enemy Widow show himself first. So the question is, who can find that head first?
Linkser right now putting more of his focus on the enemy team, not necessarily hunting for Glister just yet. The Outlaws moving forward. Blizzard out from hydration. It's Spitfire respecting it, backing on out, and the Outlaws looking to get a point from here. Muma a little bit further back. Shatter at the ready. Shui still hanging onto his Blizzard on the other side. Muma looking for any opportunity. Has not found it just yet. Moving around, goes for the charge. Frozen out as the Blizzard moves in. Muma's out of the fight already. And the Outlaws struggling for something. And they're not finding it at all. Glister on the cleanup. And this is like London just about ready to take map 1.
Rockus commits the nano. They have to keep Meko alive, but Glister shuts down Rockus, so Meko, no heals left. He's gonna have to try to regroup. Linkser, though, does find Glister. That could be an opening. He needs more than that, though.
That's the first step. Muma comes back in, gets Sanguinar, the Outlaws. This is exactly what they needed. Moving back in, hydration, emergency, Doomfist, but it might not be an emergency. Oh, but it Linkser with the other 2, and the Outlaws rally!
Linkser, the Dingser, is back in force. Does commit his Infrasight, though. That's going to be key when Glister has his available. That's going to enable the retake, significantly reducing the advantage that defending Widowmaker does have. So it'll be a tough test seeing if London can make the hold.
The Outlaws desperately needed this, and this is the Linkser they need to see all day long. They're going to have a chance, but it's a little bit good nostalgia there.
Definitely. The question is, how can they do with Glister? Infrasight advantage is online. Linkser gonna have to play very defensive, wait out this Infrasight before he can reasonably take that duel.
Listener right now praising the situation. Of course, he knows everything. He sees Linkser. Linkser knows where he is. It's Widow v Widow. But Linkser doesn't want to take the hydration, though. Gets caught. J-Mac dropping the Shatter, knocks down 2, and J-Mac just silently putting it away on the other side. The Outlaws once more in a difficult position. Can Linkser do it again? It's going to be far harder this time. We'll see. Overtime ticking down, and no! The Outlaws can't get back to the point. Spitfire taking map 1.
It was a great attempt from Linkser, pulling out huge stuff on the Widowmaker. That might be even more impactful as we go into these later maps. There might be more opportunities to bring that Widowmaker out, and I certainly hope to see it. Still, though, London looking dominant, looking practiced on this COF map.
While London, so far, they've silenced the crowd. Can Houston bring it back? We'll find out after the break.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
This is what I want to watch. Links are going to work.
Oh, Linkser, untouchable.
Under a little bit of fire. Oh, he gets him mid-sleep during. Your boy Linkser looking for some dinksers.
And if you didn't know, you better remember, Linkser is a hard carry.
Now Lynx are starting to fire up.
Whoa, no!
The heads are rolling, and Lynxer is delivering unbelievable Widowmaker performance from Lynxer.
Finland's gift to Esports strikes again!
Of course, that was some vintage Lynxer. We saw some flashes of that just a moment ago. Houston Outlaws fans, let's hear it for Lynxer. Give them some energy as we go on the map 2.
That was a great map from both teams. London coming out on top, though, seeming like just a little bit better ultimate management from them, but it was looking really close. I'm happy to see Lynxer still in the lineup. They still have confidence in him, and especially as we go into this next map, Blizzard World's a place where, especially on that second point, we have seen a lot of Widows come out, clutching those defensive holds, sometimes breaking it open on the offense. So that seemed to be Lynxer's best performance in the last map. We'll see if he can do it again on Blizzard World, but I expect the McCree to be dominating the metagame here.
I think that's very likely from what we've seen so far. But I will say, if we do get to a point of Widow v Widow, I have to say, even though I think other things were failing for the Outlaws there, I do think there's a potential for Lynxer to turn this around. And, maybe a little bit of practice, just has to find his groove.
Definitely, and that's what it's all about in Overwatch, getting that team coordination, getting that energy on point. This is not really a game of solo carries. We say it sometimes, a player can come up huge, but usually when they do, it's because of great setup, great teamwork to take control of the map and actually enable your DPS players to do that crazy thing, click those heads.
So we'll see if the stability here on Hybrid plays a little bit more to the Outlaws' strengths. Control, it can go a little bit crazy. Definitely helps the Spitfire, where it's a team of new players that kind of thrive on the chaos. The Outlaws, more of a mix. We'll see if the veteran experience of the Outlaws here can pay off.
Definitely possible here. It's all about this first point hold. The difference between losing it quickly and getting a lot of time off the clock, it makes a world of difference as we go into that second point where most teams do end up getting held.
And I mean, for Outlaws, it has been tough. You think back to their draw versus Boston. Overall, a little bit messy this season, but again, they're here in front of the hometown crowd. If there's a time to turn it around, it's got to be now. But the gates are open here, Jake, and the Spitfire running the meta, up at the left.
Yeah, slipping up this left flank. I like this approach on Blizzard World, sort of cuts off a piece of the map, and it's going to push Outlaws off that high ground hold almost preemptively. They don't want to get caught off in their retreat by a Maywall.
Glister looking for opportunities behind the line, and this is what Glister does. He goes off for flanks, he freelances a little bit, but this time, Meko not having any of it. Shutting down the lane for Glister.
Now rushing onto point are the Spitfire, caught up by the Maywall of Hydration. Nobody isolated though, so essentially just a trade of abilities here.
Both teams desperately looking to win the poke war. Neither team had a huge advantage just yet. Spitfire though getting more on the point, challenging Houston. And Bionade, that's gonna lead to some pressure. Lynxer immediately getting out of there. Good evasive roll. Meko though taking the snooze. And now Spitfire, they're gonna look to take advantage. Hydration just barely able to get away as Lynxer gets Glister. Gets the poke he was looking for, and now can move over, put pressure on the Bernard, and the Outlaws looking pretty solid.
And Nano is committed from Krillin, but immediately frozen by Hydration, getting no value out of that, so losing a key offensive ultimate. Outlaws want to strike forward here. They want to get a solid cleanup. Don't let any of these players escape, but they could lose somebody here, so it's a little bit risky to be diving into that close corridor, especially Glister is already back on the McCree.
I like what the Outlaws are doing. They're being patient. They're playing with the point. They gave up a tick for free, Jake, but it wasn't really for free. It just gave them space that they used really well. But now we got Lynxer, Deadeye. London gonna be respecting it, moving back. But now the Deadeye is over. London ready to move on in. Ooh, Muma gets slapped. This is a big opportunity. London can take a lot of position off this. Raucus has to go over Nano, and it's not enough. But hey, Glister, getting Muma, Raucus, and the Outlaws, they're just not gonna be able to do enough.
It was a good defense, but a huge isolation wall from Shui and the Blizzard to follow it up. Nano means nothing in the face of the Bionade from Krillin, so Houston Outlaws sent packing, gonna have to hold the payload now, and a lot of time on the clock for London. That's about an average defense for Houston, still winnable for both squads.
The Outlaws doing a decent job of draining the clock in the last one, but now London going to be looking to get some real momentum here. Glister, very advantageous position. Meko though, looking to open things up with a bang. Bomb over the top, does precious little. London now with the beats, moving forward. Deadeye up, looking for anything. Forces the Outlaws back, but not much more. And it's some time for the Electric Cowboy.
Glister looking dangerous, finding headshots, but no frags just yet. Just chopping down Muma's shield for the time being. They are securing a lot of free payload push, but Raucus charging up a Nano very quickly off all this damage that doesn't turn into kills.
At least for the Outlaws right now, they're doing a good job of avoiding early pickoffs. And now they're going to be a little bit more dominant on the point. They have the ultimates backing up. London going for a longer rotation here, Jake.
London able to take this high ground, though. That could be important, although the Outlaws do have card control, so they're not going to be able to transition this into an objective, and I love the side swap from the Outlaws, taking this defensive position away from the high ground.
Deadeye up from Blister, looking for anything. Outlaws don't peek. They do not, but they are getting payload progress as this goes on. Now for the Outlaws, time to go, but Krillin finds Rockus somehow. Now the Outlaws are going to have to engage in a 5-on-6. It's going to be an ult costly fight if nothing. Muma drops a shatter, knocks down only Krillin, and that's not nearly enough.
No follow-up there. It's so unfortunate losing Rockus before the fight really gets underway. That takes the legs out from under the Outlaws, and now they won't even really have much of a chance to defend this crucial final end of second point here. Mekko's not up, and that's really the person you need to be touching the payload in this situation. So
I think they're going to try it. They're going for it. They nano Muma. They give him a little bit of heals, but the Blizzard is down. Muma's going to fall in short order. And that was risky. They did it to have the contest, but again, all they bought was a 5-on-6 fight. They're going to burn every last ult they have here. Hydration gives his life for a Blizzard. But London, they're just not having any of it. They just back out, and then they push the point in anyway.
High Noon supports J-Mac to cap, so great textbook play from London Spitfire, not being overconfident there, kiting the ults very effectively. And now we're on to this final third point, and London, they've got so much time in the bank. Houston, they're going to have to find a new look, stop getting picked off. They need to be able to get a solid reset here because London just looking unstoppable right now.
I feel like the Outlaws have had real trouble using their ults effectively so far. What's been going wrong?
To me, it just comes down to this ultimate economy being played by London. They're staying in that tighter, coordinated group, and no one's getting picked off. They have a cleaner rotation playstyle so far. Rockus is getting back to the fight, but now the ultimate tempo once again in London's favor.
Oh, Muma slipped up with the ice block. That was fantastic from Hydration, covering for Muma while he's sleeping on the job. Preventing J-Mac from having the biggest share of all time. Now J-Mac, though, nanoed, a little bit angry. He's playing the game is taken away. Further back we go, and here comes Mekko. Surprise over the top, takes down J-Mac. And the Outlaws buying a little bit of time.
That's such a perfect bomb timing from Mekko, detonating right as it comes inside the Rhine shield. So perfect moment there, right as it drops low. That's what you're hoping for on this Diva. Mekko delivering in spades, and now it's time for the Houston Outlaws to chase London back to their spawn, send them packing, charge up these ultimates. This could be the beginning of a potential stabilization here for the Outlaws, and that's exactly what they'll need to make a full hold here.
And Blizzard World C is one of those points that you can make up a lot of time.
Definitely, no matter how much time the attackers have, it's not guaranteed, especially with only the Blizzard available. But another sleep from Krillin sets up Muma, but forces Hydration to use an early wall. And once again, Muma isolated. Mekko eats the Blizzard!
Mekko doing his best to try and carry this. Links are though already down. London is not out of this fight yet. Bernard a little bit low, can't get healed up. Bionade ruining him right now. Mekko just barely able to get around. Mekko might get healed back up, still okay for the Outlaws. Blizzard out. Muma's gonna be back in soon. The Shatter is ready. Shatter coming in on the other side for J-Mac, puts Muma to the ground. Jexay out. And London pressure still coming in. Links though, he swapped to the Widow. He swapped to the Widow, he's got Sanguinar on the other side. He's gonna need more than that though, Jake.
Definitely needs to find some pickoffs here, but they could be coming. There's Shui.
And another! Another two! And this is what Houston needs right now.
That's exactly what they needed to clutch that defensive hold. It was great ultimate usage from the London Spitfire, but it means nothing in the face of the Dinkster. So he's already got his Infrasight almost charged here. That could slow down London even more, and the clock's starting to run out now. What was looking so good for London has been completely stymied by a huge clutch from Linkster.
Not just Linkster, but I think back to that hydration wall, which just ruined J-Mac's day. Multiple members of the Outlaws coming up big here so far. Early wall from hydration. They're moving on forward. Mekko again, a bomb. Is it going to get another? Muma and Jexay, they go in front line, and that is enough.
That's a great bomb from Mekko. I feel like that kill is really his responsibility. He forces Glister to essentially suicide dive into the back line, and Jexay more than happy to clean up that kill.
The crowd right now, they're starting to get more into the game here, Jake, and that has to increase the pressure on London.
Definitely. Glister switching over to the Widow, but loses his confidence. He's back to the McCree, so giving up some ultimate charge there potentially. Not much to show for it. Linkster, dangerous in this sight line.
They're giving him so many good opportunities. They're lucky he didn't get that one. Just challenging Linkster, and a scary proposition there, Jake.
Still an extremely hard shot in such a small sight line. Hydration very close to his own Blizzard here. This could be crucial. Bernard needs to find the E.
Both Reinhardt's getting close to Shatter. The Blizzard for Hydration, Shui ready to go. So the Earth's going to be breaking, and it's going to get awfully frosty very, very soon. Hydration deciding to go for it, moving forward. Blizzard out. J-Mac, though, dropping the Shatter. Doesn't get a whole lot. To the Outlaws withstanding the storm. Blizzard already down. And this Blizzard from Hydration setting a good tone for the Outlaws.
getting them a lot of value. Now the sand barrier comes in. Outlaws charging forward with the speed boost. J-Mac so low on his shield, but the self-destruct's gonna force Mooma to drop shield, get pinned, but the Nano saves him.
Great Nano by Raucus to keep Mooma in the fight. Now Mooma gets to move forward, takes down J-Mac, and the Outlaws gonna hold on point C.
Off the back of some absolute heroics from Yuri Masalin, Linkser himself out on the Widowmaker. This is what I love to see.
And what we saw there were flashes of what people thought Outlaws could be capable of all season long. I don't necessarily think they're there yet, but we saw good play across the board. Linkser, really nice pickoff opportunities. Raucus, great nanos. Mooma, applying pressure but not going too far. This is what, and of course Meko, just immense pressure from his bombs.
Definitely, Meko looking so clean on the Diva. That bomb onto J-Mac was absolutely disgusting, right on his head. Somehow slips past his shield at the last second. But I also want to highlight Krillin on the London Spitfire. He's been sleeping Mooma time and time again. That's forcing a lot of defensive utility to come out preemptively for the Outlaws. Hydration having to drop those walls just to keep people alive, and that's not really what you want. You'd rather be using those utilities aggressively or forcing some enemy cooldowns out. So Krillin's been really clean on this Ana. The Outlaws are going to have to watch out for that on this attack now.
Also, the Outlaws, they're a team that historically struggles at times to get point A on maps like this. So even though they were able to hold the Spitfire away from point C, there's still some very big hurdles that they have to leap here. Most notably, just their allergy at times to getting point A in these matches.
It can definitely be tough, especially on a map like Blizzard World. There is real full hold potential. We saw it earlier today. Atlanta full holding the Toronto Defiant. So Houston wants to change that script, do something different, and I love this. They're going to go for the bottom left play, just the same as London. That should prompt London to drop off that high ground, fearing the ice wall, and then we'll get that classic trade on point C. What sort of rotation the Outlaws want to go for?
And if I'm Houston, I'm looking at this going, where is Glister going the flank? Glister has still been one to always be off the flanks at this point in particular.
He gets poked this time though, but you can see he does want to poke those flanks. Both teams trading poke at this corner. Question is, who will get aggressive first? It's Linkser!
Linkser striking again, taking down Glister. He's growing in power as the series goes on. And when you're down to McCree, it is so tough to counter poke the other team. The Outlaws working at a fantastic advantage here for point A. And this might be a change here the Outlaws have needed. London, though, they're going to be moving back in one more time. Here comes Linkser, takes down Shui!
A second for Finland's gift to Esports, looking awfully close to that first cap on the first fight, no less. They're diving into Linkser. They know they need to shut him down, and they're able to do it this time. Nano comes in. This could be the beginning of a clutch.
London went for it, but that shatter does enough. Takes down Jexe. The Outlaws trying to fight it back, but there's hardly anyone left. Mooma, one of the last people on the point. He's going to be taken on down, and as good as that was for the Outlaws, the return from the Spitfire far better.
The downside of dealing more damage on the attack is that the enemy Ana is going to have the nano boost first, and here we see how impactful that can be on the retake. They're able to keep their Rhine alive with the nano. That enables Bernard to dive in deep and get on Linkser. They had to stop him, and stop him they did, but it cost them all their ultimates. Now, High Noon and Shatter available for the Houston Outlaws.
This is a long, long road that Linkser is on right now. Will it be triumph at the end, or will it be failure? Way away from his team, and now all he's done is summon Bernard. Bernard knows where he is. The rest of the Outlaws in on the front. Linkser getting checked by Bernard all the way. The Blizzard, or not the Blizzard, but just normal freeze on the hydration. Putting him low. The beat in from the Spitfire as they try and hold the Outlaws off. Both teams dropping the beat. Mooma hanging onto the Shatter in the front. J-Mac cannot respond as Linkser finds Glister on the side. One more time, Shatter in from Mooma. Not quite enough, meanwhile Bernard, the bomb to the middle. Finds Linkser. London off the Blizzard. Doing a great job of staying in this fight. But Mooma, back the other way.
Mooma, maybe the last tank standing here. He's got the support of Raucus behind him. London just looking to touch point from the corners with Lucio and Diva doing a good job of that. They're trying to dive on Raucus, but he manages to survive. Just trying to fend off all these attackers. London doing such a great job on this stall, but Houston is going to take control and start moving that payload.
The Outlaws finally get through point A. It was looking like it would be a quick take. London rallied back in style. But now, roughly even, the Outlaws with 3.5 minutes to get through point B.
And we saw Linkser coming up huge on the Widowmaker. Now it seems he's heating up on McCree as well, but Glister takes him down this time.
Glister with the nice shots, gets rid of Linkser early. A little bit of return fire in a matchup that Linkser's been doing surprisingly well in so far, but here's Glister, the Deadeye, to the back. Gonna be forcing the Outlaws to move back around. Muma just charging out of there, but does get away with his life.
Still though, this is securing a lot of free payload time for the Outlaws. They're moving it down this crucial slope. London electing to try and hold this corner. I wonder if we'll see another high ground rotation come in now that J-Mac is committed to the low ground.
London moving forward. Oh, J-Mac! 4 down to the ground. Saw the opportunity and created an earthquake here in Houston.
I can't help but feel that J-Mac coming out on top of the Rhine trade here. He's been blocking so many shatters and delivers an absolutely massive one of his own. London transitioning into a forward spawn camp, but Mecco's capping the cart. They're going to be forced to retreat very quickly. You got to focus on that objective.
Mecco's just like, just ignore me. It's fine. I'm not back here, I swear. And he's winning the Diva battle. Just forces Bernard back. Meanwhile, though, the Outlaws, I don't know if they can get to Mecco in time. Mecco kind of back here. Muma already down. The Outlaws are very split right now, but kind of making it work as Hydration gets 2.
The objective gameplay so on point for the Houston Outlaws. They are sending Linkser and Mecco together on the flank, and with the heals from that payload, you just can't win the Diva one-on-one in that sort of environment. And now Spitfire, they're going to be forced into a sort of last-minute final contest. Rockets won't be here to support the team, though, so if London can get this fight going long, it could be good for them.
Diva bomb out over for the Outlaws. Mecco looking for it, gets Sanguinar! Clipped him off on the side. Blizzard invested by Shui, but Link's here, none of it. Deals Bernard. The bomb, though, ends up with 2, so it's not a waste for Bernard, and it forces the Outlaws back.
Able to clutch it out are the London Spitfire. We've seen a lot of teams fall here, but at least Houston, they do have the ultimate advantage. There should be one fight here that is an opening for them, but once Sanguinar gets that beat online, I think that advantage is kind of gone for the Outlaws. They're going to need to move quickly here.
How aggressive do you be if you're London here?
I think they want to take this fight. Ideally, you can win it off a shatter, off of the nano boost, but of course, Rockets does have his own nano to respond, and Muma has his own shatter, so very equal tools. Muma diving forward with the nano. J-Mac immediately crushed.
J-Mac just got mobbed. The Outlaws came up and over 6-on-1, and now they don't have to worry about J-Mac on the other side. The Spitfire have very little tools to defend this here, and they're going to invest in nano. They're going for the nano. The Outlaws, they drop a Blizzard. Should be easy clip, but oh, guess what? J-Mac's back, drops the shatter. Won't be enough. Raucus is down. Blister is still around. He's in the corner. Blister is free firing. He's moving around the backhand side. This is dangerous. Blister gets Muma. He's looking for even more. No one's looking at Blister. And Blister finally under a little bit of pressure, but London making this contest work to a degree, keeping the Outlaws back. The Outlaws are going to give up.
Yeah, the big difference here is that spawn advantage. London is at a huge advantage in trading these pickoffs. So, like I said, that sound barrier from Sanguinar making that huge advantage play, enabling Blister to go for a really crazy flank, not something you normally see, but with the sound barrier, there's no one able to actually punish that. And now Jexa still a little bit slow on his own sound barrier. He won't have that crucial initiation tool, at least not at the start of the fight. They're going to be relying on Mecco with the self-destruct, but Mecco might need to even touch the payload here. This is looking grim for the Outlaws.
The Outlaws looking to stay alive here on map 2 after a hold on point C. Heavy pressure on the Glister, forcing him back, not giving the opportunity to the Deadeye. Here it comes Mecco. Is it a miracle bomb once more? Over the top, no. In fact, Mecco pays with his life. Glister fires back. The Outlaws down 2. As the Spitfire stay on board. Glister locked and loaded. And now Linkser going for the emergency Deadeye, hoping for anything, and no, Glister shuts that one down too. It is Glister everywhere, and it's gonna stop right here. Spitfire, take map 2.
So many teams have been held at that point. It's so hard to get your momentum rolling over that tough defender spawn advantage. And London, they're playing it perfectly from that position, going for flanks, trading frags, and with a spawn advantage, that's always going to come up in your favor. So they managed to make it work despite some tough situations there.
The Outlaws may have the crowd on their side, but they're going to have to look inside for more. We'll be back after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Rank up with America's first and only nationwide 5G network.
Houston, we have a problem. Not looking good for the home team at the half. The Outlaws are down 2-0 against the London Spitfire in their first ever home game. This is the game break, of course, presented to you by Cheese It Grooves. I'm Mitch Leslie here, joined by Scott Kennedy, Jonathan Reinforce Larson. Okay, we've had a pretty quick day today. I feel like, I'm glad I'm not getting paid by the hour. This is pretty smooth sailing. First map, let's start there. It was pretty much London Spitfire from the get-go. Are you getting paid by the hour? Oh, sorry, bro. That's rough.
You know, at least they're playing Linkser, and at least we've seen Raucus in 2 consecutive maps. You know, there are some good takeaways from this match.
Okay, so what about the game, though? What about when they started playing?
I think the issue that the Houston Outlaws are having is that their front line is getting sort of taken apart. And I said this last week, whereas like I like that they have Linkser in now. I like that there's consistency in the backline, so then we can start identifying the issues. And when I'm looking at it now, I think their front line is just really struggling. JMac is just hitting shadow after shadow. Mumu is getting isolated and killed first every time. It's really rough for them in the front line.
Guys, is this a checkup or an autopsy? Like, is this fixable for Houston in this series, what you're seeing going on?
Oh, in this series? I do think it is fixable, okay? I definitely think they can find their sea legs. Is that a...
Yeah, I mean, I guess,
just
but
sort out their sea legs and just ride out the storm. Oh my God!
It's not the London Triremes, it's the London Spitfire.
Wow, I'm popping off over.
Oh my God!
But I do think that they actually can have a better end to this series because the Linkser has shown us some great moments, and I think hydration back on the May is a great sign for the Houston Outlaws. So there are a lot of positive things going on. But as you said, Costa, J-Mac on that Reinhardt has just demolished Muma.
Yeah, is that boy Muma just getting worked here? He got shattered multiple times here.
It doesn't even feel like sometimes we see people getting shattered over and over again, and it's because their shield is breaking, or they have no control, or they just can't do anything. It just feels like he's getting shattered when he shouldn't.
But who is breaking the Rhine shield when it's a Widowmaker May composition? Like, why is Muma getting shattered against that kind of damage, which is not good against shields?
It's not always about breaking the shield either. It's just about putting pressure on Muma overall. I feel like they're nanoing J-Mac a lot, which means that Muma has to drop his shield and jump back to disengage from the fight. So Muma's just under a lot of pressure, and I feel like the Spitfire have maybe identified a weak point in the Houston Outlaws and are capitalizing on that. So maybe some credit to the London Spitfire coaching staff. Mitch, what do you think? What do you think?
Pay it off. Blizzard World is where Linkser came alive for the Outlaws a little bit there. We kind of gassed him up with that hype video, which I love, but it was the Spitfire that kind of rolled through here.
I think we saw better signs from the Houston Outlaws on defense. They didn't. They actually held on the third point. Linkser on the Widow, some great signs. He has the confidence. Linkser, you're not bad, as you said in your tweet. You are a very good player, and that he has been getting space. But I think the outplay might be, I think the London Spitfire and Shui is getting a lot of value from their Mayouts. They seem to be always winning with these team fights, other than the couple of times that Meko did eat it. When they are placing down, they're winning, while the Houston Outlaws, it feels like their Mayouts are just never getting value, and it's such a team fight winning ult that you really need to be getting at least some form of value for.
To be fair, I feel like you have to credit London Spitfire with Bernard back in the lineup. I think he's looking very clean on the Diva. And then you have Glister as well. This is a pretty good rounded out team when they're all playing and they're in form. So you got to give some credit to London Spitfire. I know it is like the Houston Outlaws.
It is.
But London Spitfire, they're looking pretty decent and something to build on. They have talent, they have a good coaching staff, maybe they can rack up some wins. Bernard, Lester, Costa, come on.
Spitfire coaches must have gotten his DMs to pay.
You were the ones who brought them up.
Yes, I bring that up because they said that they feel like the team was more receptive to coaching, whereas they let the old lineup sort of find their own way a little bit more, and it worked in 2018, but not so much in 2019 when they actually had to play as a team. But now it's crunch time, presented by Cheese It Grooves Reinforce. You've got something for us, I'm sure.
Yes, I do have. I think this was very smart infrasight user from Glister. He's zoning out Linkser, means that Houston Outlaws has to be more passive, and J-Mac capitalizes. No, big shatter coming in. You know you love to see it, the big shatters. That's what it's all about. That's what Overwatch is all about. So you gotta credit.
I don't think it's all about. I think that's a main tank speaking.
Can we play this? Can we play it again? Costa, it's my segment. It's my segment.
Oh, sorry.
You're not crunchy enough for this segment, bro.
What I'd just like to point out again, I don't know if you can play that clip again, that I would love to see, I think it was really cool to see Glister using the infra site, which means that Linkser has to hide from the Houston Outlaws, which means that the tank line of the Houston Outlaws has to disengage so they can buy more time for Linkser to win the Widow duel. But that is the time when London Spitfire capitalizes and they push forward. And so they gain momentum in the fight.
Scotty, let him have it.
The issue with that is there is no reason Muma should get shattered like that. Okay, they had already lost hydration.
No.
Falling back.
J-Mac had a no. Muma can't just take a head-on Reinhardt fight.
He still shouldn't get shattered. He missed the mind games. He's lost it. He's been losing the mind games too many times. We saw a crazy one on Blizzard World as well, where J-Mac just walks around the shield and just shatters and hits like 4. So Muma has to do a better job.
So not just specifically that case where maybe it's acceptable that if the enemy Ryan's nanoed, you're going to be jumping back with shield and trying to get away, but in general, he's getting pressured hard and maybe getting mind gamed out of it. Well, let's get back to the rest of the match now in Houston. I think we've covered things right.
Next time, it's your place next time.
Right, you guys need to behave yourself. And of course, stick around afterwards for the Watchpoint post show where these two monkeys are going to keep flinging feces at each other. We'll see you when we get back.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Cheez-It Grooves. Deep flavor, deep crunch. It's a mind crunch.
We're back in Houston, but so far it has been the London Spitfire flying high as the Outlaws continue to search for answers.
Yeah, there's definitely been moments of flashes of brilliance, moments of greatness for the Outlaws, especially Linkser on the McCree, on the Widowmaker. He's really been putting out, finding those first picks that you just need in this meta to open the game up and give your team that sort of advantage. But so far, it's been London able to clean up in the long team fights, playing strategically more effectively on these maps.
I feel like London's been getting a lot more off flanking plays. It's definitely getting a lot more in the frontline matchup, where so far we're talking about it during the break, but J-Mac kind of has had Muma's number.
Definitely blocking almost every shatter that I've seen and finding a few huge ones of his own, and that Rhine duel is oh so important in this meta, heavily skill-based.
Well, we do have some substitutions here for the Outlaws side. Let's see who it's gonna be. And it looks like that is Blase coming in for Linkser. It's an interesting decision. Maybe that's something to do with some of the play style that you'll see on Anubis.
From my perspective, it makes total sense. I don't think this is a question of confidence in Linkser. I really think this is, you're going to Temple, and the Outlaws maybe want to threaten a dive composition. They had success with the Doom Genji before against Boston Uprising, so I think they probably just want to repeat that, and who better to bring in than Blase and Dante, both highly skilled dive players, and Blase obviously no slouch on the McCree either.
It definitely does lend to more of a double projectile setup. Maybe they run him on McCree for a certain point, but I'd hope that they'd be running him more on projectile, given what we've seen so far. But of course, Blase not the only sub that we have here. We also have Dante coming on in for hydration.
Again, you know, this really sets up that full dive combo. Makes total sense on a map like Temple of Anubis. We've seen a lot of teams succeed with dive here, notably the Vancouver Titans, making it look like the meta game when they play it. So the question is, can the Houston Outlaws step up to that level of play with the dive?
I feel like on some level, you look at the potential of these players, what we've seen in the past, they should be able to play at that level. But so far, we haven't seen it all come together. Houston, they've been a chaotic team. Not everything functions at the right time. And while we've been seeing flashes of brilliance, and we know that these players can do better than what they've been doing, it just hasn't panned out so far this season.
Yeah, definitely. There's been a lot of close calls, but not enough to secure a win yet, and that's really what they need to get their season started. Here in front of the hometown crowd, a reverse sweep would be a massive shift in momentum for them.
I mean, more than that, I think we would lose our hearing. This crowd would go absolutely wild if the Outlaws were able to engineer that sort of comeback. But for any sort of comeback, Jake, it all comes down to step one, and step one is taking Temple of Anubis here and now.
Definitely, and bringing out these fresh players, the question is, will this sort of dive strat pay off effectively on Anubis? I think it's a good idea, but the question is, will the execution be on point? It's a very difficult comp to play effectively.
It's going to be difficult for sure, and also, so far, I feel like the best answer the Outlaws did have the Glister was Linkser in the head-to-head matchup, and I feel like this is going to be a little bit more complicated for them, where the goal, of course, you know, you called it a little bit before, just go heavy dive, don't give Glister any sort of room.
I like the support setup from the Houston Outlaws. The Onum Brig, I think, is really effective at defending this first choke point, and Brig as well can transition very effectively into the second point with a rally. Or you can switch to Lucio if you want to start charging that sound barrier, if you feel comfortable enough in the ultimate economy to drop that rally charge. But the very interesting pick here is Blase on the Doomfist. This is very unexpected, but if there's a map you can make Doomfist work, it might be here on Temple of Anubis.
I don't mind this decision from the Outlaws, where if you're going to be running Blase, let him run a hero that he's truly great at. Do not force the McCree.
Yeah, definitely. And with Glister on the Hanzo, it's going to mean there's no flashbang to shut down Blase. It's going to be pretty much all on Bernard and Krillin to go with the classic defensive utility.
Blase right now on top, waiting for an opportunity, relying on his team for calls to go, wait, when do I go in? Oh, the time is now, moves on in. Oh, what a great reaction from J-Mac. Charges into Blase, stops himself from getting punched into the wall. The Outlaws getting poked down heavily as J-Mac takes out another two. What a highlight reel moment for J-Mac.
Outlaws getting a little bit over-aggressive there. You need to be aggressive with the Doomfist, but London seemed totally prepared for it, absolutely shutting that down and moving on to second point with relative ease. Not much ult charge to speak of for the Houston Outlaws, but not much either for the London Spitfire, so it's relatively even as we go into the second point. Big advantage would be Krillin on the nano boost. That should give J-Mac another lead in the Earth Shatter when he gets the first nano. Should be able to swing pretty cleanly on Muma.
So I do have a replay of J-Mac here, and this was just great, where, remember the lead-in, he charged against Blase, he stopped him from punching him, stayed alive, swung the hammer, took down another two. Nice stuff.
Krillin has the nano ready. I'm expecting to see London get very aggressive on the back of this. They get a freeze, but they're not moving as quickly as I'd like. Rocket's gonna have his own nano to counter.
They're waiting for the opportunity. Bernard, though, self-destruct, ready to go. The Outlaws looking very unhealthy right now. Everyone poked down and low. Blase doesn't quite connect, has the nano on him, but spending most of his time down in the trenches at the moment. But here's Bernard, he's looking to start things off with a bang. The bomb to the back, doesn't do as much, but oh, Jexe walks into J-Mac's Fire Strike. Blase, Meteor Strike down, finds Glister, and that's big.
Super important, wants to find a second pickoff, and he does with the help of Meko.
Meanwhile, Bernard eats Dante's Blizzard, then eats Dante entirely. As the Spitfire, they're still looking to stay in here. They're on the point, they almost have a tick. Shui off the barrier, looking for a little bit more, and this is rough for the Outlaws.
Shadow comes out from Luma, but doesn't find anything. Blase, though, getting the pickup on Bernard. That could be exactly the start the Outlaws need to come back in this fight.
They need something.
Eliminated.
It's Blase. Blase got to open the way after Muma's Shatter did little. Nothing.
Denying that second tick so important on Temple of Anubis. That extra time to enable the defenders get out. If you do lose the fight, you want those stallers to be able to get out on point and have a bit of time to work with. So even though London gets a lot of progress, they're not able to secure the second tick.
So in the end, they just walk away with 33%. Still not a bad opening here. About 4 minutes, 18 seconds left on the clock for the Spitfires. They move in on this attack.
With no ultimates available on this attacking side, though, the rally could be absolutely massive. J-Mac, though, pins Blase.
J-Mac is playing out of his mind right now. Shui, though, caught by Raucus. A little bit difficult now for the Spitfire. They're not going to have the Made for control. We'll see how long they stay in here. No, wait, why is Raucus back here? Raucus is in danger. Raucus is out, and J-Mac another charge. However, I think London is going to go in. J-Mac drops another shatter. Is this really happening? I think London's trying to make this fight happen.
Great plays from J-Mac, completely shutting down the nano onto Muma, getting not much value at all. J-Mac just the stuns and the control, but spawn advantage for Houston might be too much. These could end up being just wasted ultimates for London. Looks like they're going to go back in with a quick self-destruct.
Well, London was just trying to get out, and they took advantage of the opportunity. The self-destruct head back doesn't work, but J-Mac again finds Jexay. And now Nano looking for Muma. There's very little Muma doing. It goes in, but Nemo, Blase to the back, gets two. It's Blase keeping the Outlaws in the game.
Perfect plays from Blase using Doomfist to perfection, and that's going to enable Outlaws to secure this hold. It looks so good off the back of the aggression from J-Mac, but Blase to counter. I love Doomfist on this second point. Temple of Anubis might be one of the best spots in the entire game. So many ways to initiate. Blase making use of them all.
I got news for you. Regardless of this being a good point for Doom or not, Blase plays Doom so much better than he plays McCree. Even if you go to a McCree area, I still want this play Doom.
Yeah, and I think it partners really well with the Brig. Those armor packs really let Doomfist get kind of out of control with the amount of HP he can amass with the help of his adaptive shields.
The Spitfire, about 2.5 minutes, running into a bit of a roadblock here on point B. The Outlaws finding their groove. No small part to the Blase.
Once again, London coming over this flank, gonna boost up with a May wall of their own. But so far, neither team able to find much of an initiation here. Blase with the nano boost forces London back. They're gonna just take a full retreat, but that does bait out the nano boost.
The nano is gone, but Blase looking for the flank right now, considering where to go instead. Goes more towards the front. Oh, nice shot. Shui immediately plastered against the wall. And Blase again, the one setting the tone for the Outlaws now.
Winning the fights this way is so important. Meko able to hold on to the self-destruct, and Muma hanging on to the shatter makes a big difference. And now Bernard getting staggered absolutely massively here.
Spitfire have been in trouble here, and right now, it's been because of the Doom. Is Muma really taking his sweet time there.
That's a big delay, and it's going to cost London the team fight, but London, they are banking up ultimates, almost everything online. It will be everything when Bernard is back in this fight.
How should London deal with this Doom from Blase?
Well, that's the question, and with the Meteor Strike, I don't think there's any reliable counters. It's going to be up to Krillin, essentially, to find some huge sleep dart, but Blase's been so elusive so far.
The Outlaws holding back Muma on the top rope, holding on to the shatter. This might be the time. The nano boost is out. It's on to Blase to start. London using the barrier in response. J-Mac dropped the shatter, put Muma to the ground. Muma, though, well healed up, still okay. Blase frozen and down, but meanwhile, Muma on the other side gets on Blister, and the Outlaws just collapse into the Spitfire.
Love the aggression from Muma, paying off big time here, trying to find more, but London are just delaying themselves. There's no way they can win this fight in the face of the spawn advantage from the Houston Outlaws.
So the Outlaws have picked themselves up after a tougher point A. It's been a lot of Doom heroics, but now they're charged up, they're ready to go, and they very well could hold here on point B.
And now Dante does have the Blizzard. Krillin probably just gonna have to use the nano defensively to keep his Ryan alive if Dante can find even one target properly frozen. Bernard, though, caught off. This could be an opening. 30 seconds left on the clock. Not much to work with for London.
Blase does it again, and now, as you say, Jake, they are down to very little time, only 19 seconds remaining.
Could be seeing an aggressive initiation. No Diva here ready to eat the self-destruct. Not quite yet. They're trying to speed him back, but only 10 seconds left. It's going to be London enough to make a mad dash to the point.
Dante looking for the split off. This puts J-Mac in a tough spot. Charges the point, gets slept. But J-Mac's still alive. They need to finish him off. Bionade seals the deal. The Outlaws up 6 on 5. And now the Spitfire looking for a way in. The Outlaws looking stalwart. Blase, though, sleeping off on the side. Blase gonna get off his life. He does. Meanwhile, here comes Shui. A Blizzard directly onto the point. The Spitfire desperately trying to move in. They get Muma. That's one part. Can they get more? Jexay in danger. Down he goes. J-Mac back in on the Hammond. The Spitfire, they're not done yet. The Outlaws, they're falling one by one.
With OT spawns, this could be rough, trying to make the defense work. Meko drops the self-destruct. Are they able to take him out? Yes, they are, before he can get back in the mech suit. Muma on the Hammond, trying to stall.
The Outlaws in real danger here. The Spitfire, they've completely flipped the script. And now so close to getting point B here in overtime, but Blase back into the fray. Finds Shui. Can this man do it one more time? The Outlaws, they're almost back to a full 6 on the point. Jet stays down. Here comes Blase. Meteor strike away from the Deadeye. Nice reaction. And here we go. What's he gonna get? Dives up. Over. Looking for it. Stunned. Still in there. In Glister's face. This is the threat you gotta deal with. Can he get him? Move it, and it does!
Outlaws make the hold off of some absolute heroics. Blaze's Doomfist, just an absolute monster here on Temple of Anubis' second point. If anybody can make the hold, he can.
What a fantastic show Blase just put on for the defense. This is the energy the Outlaws needed. Will they carry it into the next round? We'll be back after the break.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
The Outlaws needed a surge of energy here today, and they've gotten it thus far in Blase. Subbed in, his Doomfist has been a shock to the system, and certainly a shock to the Spitfire.
Those pickoffs couldn't be more crucial. Even at the beginning of that final fight for London, when they started to find those opening pickoffs, Blase was able to take down Krillin, and cutting the head off the snake, as it were, really stifles that offense. They're not able to get as aggressive as they'd like to be without their flex support. So that made such a huge difference, and able to convert it into many more pickoffs was Blase, looking very clean the entire defense long.
I mean, really just channeling some raw Ultra Instinct energy here. You got Glister, he has the Deadeye. Normally you respect this, right? Blase moves in, wait, up he goes. Away!
And the perfect timing, even baits the draw out, so Glister not getting any value off of his ultimate. Just perfect timing and gameplay from Blase. Now coming up on the Genji, this makes a little more sense on the offense. Doomfist really does struggle without those defensive setup positions. Genji a little bit more flexible, and he's gonna have all the boost he could possibly want. Mercy and Ana finding this Nano Blade, potentially with a damage boost that can be absolutely devastating against London Spitfire.
Opens up with the reflection back the other way. Dante, meanwhile, gonna be going to the under a little bit of pressure. Needs to teleport away sooner rather than later. Pulled some decent ult off that.
In the back line, but Muma caught off by a great Maywall from Shui. Blase and Dante, though, should be your focus right now. Muma dying is not that important as long as this Sombra and Genji are able to charge their ults up. But so far, not too much out of that. Oh, Blase is going to make the switch back to the Doom. Seeing the lack of the McCree on the defense, Mayfield make him feel a little bit more confident, able to dive in. No Ana either, so really no stuns at all to stop this Doomfist reign of terror.
I feel like I've just sort of grown from the London side going, oh no, he's at it again. Let's see if Blase can deliver on the attack like he did on the defense.
Still, though, it's a lot tougher on the attack. You need to find some much more creative angles of initiation. It looks like he's going for exactly that.
Definitely puts May in a tough spot. Looking for the backline. Forces Reaper the shift. This is a nice opening. Blase is going to leave with his life. He just might. Challenges the main. Takes down Shui. Blase is a one-man army.
That's exactly what they needed. Now the nano comes out. Krillin still does not have his coalescence. Muma just diving in on the advantage.
This is insane carry energy coming out from Blase. The Outlaws, they're going to get point A immediately, but they still need more. This is not a draw situation. London came very close to getting point B, but should the Outlaws cap point B in full, that's it. We go to a map 4.
One thing's for sure, we will see no overtime here, but the question is, can they survive Dante's EMP? Dante's gonna have a lot of chances with 5 minutes on the clock. He's gonna have a lot of opportunities, more than this one, but right now it's just Krillin with the coalescence. If that gets EMP'd off, these could look really bad for London.
This is an opportunity for Houston right now. They have such momentum. They're gonna have the EMP. Dante, are you gonna go in now? Is it time for speed? He does, drops EMP, hits 4, and the Outlaws, they're moving straight on in. There's no chill in this offense. Blase, finish off an R, and here come the Outlaws, directly onto the point. No one down yet, Muma. Shadow Shui on the other side. This is insane.
Blase gets the pickup. The EMP was absolutely perfect.
The Geet! Echo devours the Blizzard just for good measure. The Outlaws are here.
The crowd is feeling it, and so are the Outlaws. Absolutely all green in this kill feed, and that's what the fans want to see. It's Blase wiping the floor with Blister, getting the cleanup. Sunbearer does come out. London fighting for their lives, trying to stall this point out.
Spitfire hoping for any sort of reprieve here, trying to delay. But I got news for you. The Outlaws got 4 minutes on the clock. This would have to be one of the biggest delays in OWL history. We'll see if it happens, but right now, it's not looking that way. The Outlaws so close to their goal.
Absolutely everyone just running out to stagger, but London, they need to find kills. It's not enough to stall. Like you said, so much time and able to work with. Blase just putting on a clinic on this Doomfist.
What a ridiculous mid-air punch. Like, oh, you're going to land Hammond? I don't think so. In the air, down you go. The Outlaws continue to clean up. And okay, one good Doom deserves another. Glister says, I can do that. Meanwhile, Blase, Meteor Strike, Glister already down. It's good delay from the London Spitfire. It does not matter. The Outlaws take Anubis.
Blase looking like an absolute beast on that Doomfist. I said he would struggle on attack, but he made it look even easier than the defense. Keep this man in on Doom. He's an absolute monster on Temple of Anubis, where Doomfist can really succeed with a lot of those rollout options. But really great stuff from the Outlaws. Could this be the beginning of a reverse sweep?
Right now, that was the first step. They still have a few more to take, but if you're an Outlaws fans, you have a little bit of hope. Will they deliver? Find out next.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
London ran into a roadblock, and that roadblock was Blasé on Doomfist. Just when you think the Outlaws gonna end up getting swept, it's not quite the case here, Jake.
Some of this potential from the roster really starting to show here. Blasé on the Doom, as you said, coming out on a map like Temple of Anubis, it makes total sense where those flankers can really dominate, dive strategies can really dominate. I like the quick switch from the Outlaws on the offense, though. They were starting with the full all-in dive with Sombra Doom, but instead they switch over to the Reinhardt, giving themselves a little bit more of a dominant backline, more of a solid tank line, and they're actually able to capitalize off the Doomfist anyway, even without the dive tank. So I really think that's well played from Houston strategically.
I mean, Houston, I think the difference here is they're playing to their strengths, and at some point they realized over the past week, wait a second, Blasé's a pretty good Doomfist. Maybe we should run more of that.
Dante as well on his famous Sombra, one of the most dominant Sombra players in the league. I think one of the original Sombra players, one of the first players to really innovate that hero and find success on it before others even considered it viable.
Well, we do have some substitutions here, and this is going to both thrill the crowd and thrill some people at home, but also, you know, a little bit of depression, I'd say, given what we just saw in the last round. It's Linkser coming in for Blasé, but it makes sense. You're going into Junkertown, you need a Widow.
I mean, you're going to one of the longest range maps in the entire game. This is the moment for Widow to come out. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Widow is just absolutely broken on Junkertown first point. You can't compete in terms of hero picks, whereas Doomfist completely suffers for exactly the same reasons that Widow is dominant. How do you cross that massive range? You just need a Widow duel.
And to be fair, given what we saw early on Blizzard World, there were definitely points where Linkser looked like his old self. It wasn't consistent. It wasn't for the entire time. But now that they've had a little bit of time to get into the groove, maybe this is the map that Linkser truly makes his return to form.
His best moments in the series definitely have been on the Widowmaker, getting multi-kills at many points, clutching out that Blizzard World third-point defense with huge pickoffs, finding some big moments as well on Busan. And I felt like his McCree was also really stepping up on Blizzard World as well, so I'm not worried for the Outlaws, even when they get into these more close-range sections.
So, the Outlaws right now hoping to continue the resurgence in front of the hometown crowd. But let's not forget, as they go into Junkertown, it is do or die. They must win every map from here on out, and they're going to be looking to Linkser to help guide the way as they look to shock the Spitfire here today.
The big question in my mind is this Reinhardt duel. It feels like JMac has been getting the better of Muma, frankly, slipping those shatters through, finding the openings, and Muma getting stuffed for the most part. So he's going to have to step his game up to another level to be able to compete with JMac. I feel like that's been kind of the story of the series, but Linkser's been looking solid on this Widow duel, so Glister, you're going to have to keep your eyes peeled.
Well, you know what, Jake? You don't have to be better at the Rein v Rein if you just don't play Rein. Muma coming out in the Orisa.
I'm pretty surprised to see Orisa, even if Hydration opts for the Bastion. I still think it's a surprising choice. Orisa's shield's so weak nowadays, but with Glister on the Widow, you don't have much shield break at all.
I take it all back. It is going to be Rein v Rein. The Outlaws not going with the Bastion strategy. Instead, going to be putting their faith in Linkser here on the Widow as they play this a little bit more close to the vest.
Muma, a known troll with his pregame hero pick, so no blame there. Outlaws diving forward under cover fire from Linkser.
So right now, looking for the sightlines. Hydration already down, went a little bit deep. I don't think he was able to get the ice block off in time. But the spawn point is right there. Spitfire, though, they're just trying to delay Jake.
Still, though, this is going to be a momentary stall for Houston. They need their Mei back in this fight. You can't afford to contest the enemy Rein without a Mei wall ready to separate him away from his Ana.
Linkser eating a little bit of fire there. Muma slept as the Nano hits, but he's woken up only to get frozen. Muma getting CC'd at all levels. The Nano not doing much at all. He is able to get Krillin before falling here. The Spitfire, it's JMac. JMac off the Nano just continues to stay in, and just means the Outlaws might turn the fight. Not quite.
JMac finds a lot, but I don't think it'll be enough here. Spawn is way too close for Houston as Meko gets some cleanup frags in this Pilot Diva form. And he's even got some enemies left to charge up his mech suit on. That's going to be very important coming into this next fight.
So the Outlaws, they get through that one, but it takes them a lot longer than I think they would have liked. And the Spitfire still have plenty of time to come back in as Meko has to wait and get his mech back.
Going to take a long walk off a short pier there for Meko, so backed quickly as he can on the Diva, but this should trigger the Outlaws to potentially back up and wait for their ally to come. Ooh, Glister, dangerously close. Both Widows have the Ember Sight available.
Well, there's no secrets here from either team. Everyone, they see everything. And right now, Linkser's just seeing a Widow in hot retreat, not really worrying about Glister on the other side. Glister likely doing much of the same, but Linkser finds Shui. Muma, though, down. The Outlaws gonna have to compensate, and ooh, JMac immediately dropping the shatter. But Fire Strike mitigated. Hydration still totally fine, so the Shatter not ultra impactful in the end. The Outlaws, though, are being a little bit sluggish moving in here, Jake.
Pushing forward without a Reinhardt could be a recipe for disaster up against Glister. So Muma's back. This should signal the moment to get aggressive. Shui as well is returning to the fight very soon.
Muma's just walking forward directly into the sleep after the nano, and this time no one's waking him up. The bomb to the back, the blizzard from hydration. London just kind of playing around it, but J-Mac got caught by Linkser. The Outlaws finding a way through even without Muma.
Jexa protecting his ally support in the back line from the aggression of Bernard. This should allow Outlaws to cap this first point with ease. Glister, the only DPS left alive in the flank, does pick up Linkser, but too little too late. Jexa diving in.
Little bit of Lucio aggression coming on in there. That's always one of the more embarrassing things is Widow, where it actually can be difficult to fight, but you go, I don't want to lose to the support. Yet sometimes you do.
I mean, once a Lucio gets on your head as Widowmaker, I'd say Lucio's the one with the real advantage. Widow really only can win that duel at a long range. Once Lucio's on top of you, booping you and punching you, it's not easy to find that shot.
As evidence there, the Outlaws, they get through point A, and not too bad of a time either. But here comes Spitfire, the nano directed to J-Mac, and now his time to take a snooze. Bionated immediately, but there's Sanguinar, the beat gonna keep him alive. Muma, frozen, has the Shatter once he stops chilling. See what he decides to do here. London actually trying to back out of this fight. They want a different engage.
Glister caught in the corner, has to move past, but it's Jexa there with Meko cleaning up that frag. Now Meko on the off angle, so dangerous on this D.Va.
J-Mac is out of it, and the Spitfire starting to crumble a little bit here on point B. The Outlaws finally getting a bit of momentum on their side.
And so important that they play this fight as cleanly as they have. This is going to be such a late death on Shui. He won't be there for this final fight. It's going to be something of a 5v6 on cart and no real ultimate advantage to speak of for the London Spitfire.
If I'm the Spitfire, I don't even go for this. I let this point go. I don't even think they can get there in time, and no, they don't.
Yeah, and especially with that Infrasight, but Linkster is still going to have some time to work with. Glister, though, will have that Infrasight advantage for quite a few seconds. Ooh, Glister doesn't want to peek with the advantage. Linkster wants that fight. Ooh. What a god.
Widow v Widow, but so far both Widows with their life. Raucus, though, ends up peeking, ends up getting punished. Meko tries to open up with the bomb, gets very little. Just a little bit of positioning at that. The Outlaws right now might have to take a breather.
Definitely going to need to regroup here. What's really important, though, is that the door is closing, so that's going to make it a little bit tougher for the Outlaws to make it through these chokes. J-Mac should have an easier time finding this Shatter, but both Rhines locked and loaded. Ultimate's ready.
The Shatter's up on both sides. Who's going to be the first one to strike? The Blizzard in from hydration to set the tone. Muma right now looking awfully purple. J-Mac stuck frozen mid-nano. Here's the Shatter from Muma. Knocks him right on down, and J-Mac nowhere to go. Heavy CC onto the main tank of London. The Outlaws continue to keep it rolling.
Muma gonna have to stymie his aggression for a moment there, getting bionated by Krillin. Krillin has been so on point with these delayed plays, but so far, London Spitfire not really getting any control on this third point. Krillin is gonna fall. Sanguinar does find Raucus. That should limit the aggressive potential just a little bit, but if Linkser can find a pickoff, that could all change in an instant.
It's time. This is one of the best areas in all of Overwatch for a Widow to get a key pick off. The window is there, both literally and figuratively, as Linkser is looking for his shot.
Both Widows so important. Who can find that first pick off? And it's Glister through the shield of J-Mac. Muma unfortunately slept there by Krillin, so the team play working out for London.
And Glister doing more than that. Glister with 3, and that's the penalty you pay when you lose the Widow duel. It lets the other Widow just go wild.
You know, that's just a moment that really shows the impact of team play in Overwatch. Both Rhines shielding in the Widow sightline, but it's Krillin who finds the sleep onto Muma as he's done all series long, and that means no protection for Linkser. Linkser is able to get the kill.
Of course, this is going to give us a bird's eye view of what just transpired. And yeah, as you say, the sleep comes in, and Glister, free reign.
Now, so many ultimates as well available for London to work with. Oh, these are beautiful headshots from Glister. What a god.
Well, Linkser, again, neither Widow keeping secrets from each other. Everyone can see everything. Not too late for that, but now we got the nano directly on to J-Mac. J-Mac clearing out the high ground. Meanwhile, Bernard taking a snooze at tough area. Linkser looking for the damage. Linkser in danger. Takes an icicle to the head. You have to go for the health pack. Hydration, the Blizzard is up, squeeze down. Nice pick off from Linkser. And now the Outlaws working on a 6v5 with the Blizzard good to go.
Oh, but a huge shatter on the flank from J-Mac. Picks up Jexa. He's low at HP, though. He's probably not going to be able to follow this up much. Doesn't get the sound barrier, so things could be falling apart a little bit for London here.
Bernard dropped the self-destruct, but couldn't get away from Muma. Takes a rocket hammer to the back of the head. A little bit of a painful thing, if I do say so myself. Muma.
So crucial, though. Sanguinar's beat essentially wasted, and Jexa is going to be coming back with a beat of his own.
Muma hanging on here to the shatter, waiting. The Blizzard's eating. Meko all over it once more. A big opportunity for the Outlaws. Shui completely destroyed. And so is Linkser. Up there at Muma. Moving forward. You gotta think he wants to shatter. When's it gonna come out? His team is dying all around him. And so will Muma be joining him soon in all likelihood. 25 HP. Holding back. The Outlaws are staying in this fight. Goes for the shatter. Knocks down J-Mac. Gonna be able to take him out. Looking for the pin. Booped away.
Sanguinar, great protection of his allies, manages to be up on the wall just enough to avoid the shatter. Houston, they're going to have to reset, but with only 15 seconds on the clock, someone's going to have to sacrifice himself just to keep the card going, I think.
This is so little time left for the Outlaws. That's why you got the Hammond out over here. That Hammond is getting destroyed.
Absolutely melted by the DPS. Glister's in a free sideline here, and that's as far as the Outlaws are going to be able to get it. But all the way to the end of third point, that's more than enough to be able to hold aggressively on defense.
This is winnable still for the Outlaws. You don't always see teams complete on Junkertown. Does happen, but it's not a map where it's sort of like, you didn't complete. Well, I guess it's all but over. No, no, no. The Outlaws, they could get a hold on point A, they could get a hold on point B, or just a slightly better hold on C. Junkertown, definitely a map that can enable that.
And I think with point A, it's time to see Linkser on this Widow. Maybe we'll see a little bit more dueling action than we've seen so far in the map. Mostly Widows avoiding each other, infrasighting at the same time, so there hasn't been as much dueling action as I was hoping for. But Linkser has been looking clean on the Widowmaker, finding some crucial pickoffs. For instance, on Shui on that Mei, enabled that last push to get as much card progress as the Outlaws were able to get. So on first point, it'll be time to see that Widow dominance.
You still hear the crowd. They have faith. They have hope. They want to see the Outlaws bring this one back. And we'll see the crowd is rewarded for that here and now. As the Outlaws are in a tough spot here, Jake, because should the Spitfire bring this one to the end, it will also be the end of the series.
It's do or die for these Outlaws. No mistakes left in the tank. Already down 2-1, but they could also, by that same token, tie up the series with a win here on Junkertown.
And of course, if you're the Spitfire, you don't really want that. You just kind of think, this is really way too close to what we did to Justice the other week. It doesn't feel great to be on the receiving end of that. So if you're the Spitfire, you really want to end this one right now.
Definitely want to win on Escort. We'll see which Widow's able to come out on top, or if this ends up being decided by that Ryan and May.
Linkser right now, taking off angle, going to the sky. Brief moment of opportunity. Not quite yet, but good poke on the Bernard.
It's going to set back London on their aggression. They're going to have to heal up Bernard. That's going to be less heals on the Rhine, but it looks like both teams essentially resetting here. Muma does take a bio nade that's going to slow him down.
Oh, Linkser had the opportunity. Did not quite have the shot. The Outlaws, though, doing really good in the poke game. Both Mays out of the fight. Slight advantage, Spitfire with the spawn advantage, but it's not bad for delay so far.
Neko has the Matrix advantage, fighting for this high ground. But the Outlaws, much closer spawn for London's going to give them a big edge. Their May will be back first. Hydration still running back from spawn, so it's a 5-on-6 here. Outlaws potentially looking to just stall the card as much as they can.
Meko got caught. That's really going to hurt their ability to stay in here. And if you're the Outlaws, I think you have to retreat.
Oh, no. Oh, so important. Hydration with the wall, time and time again, protecting his allies. They're trying to catch Muma out.
The Spitfire's still going for it. They drop the shatter. Oh, Linkser got Glister. The shatter, not quite that effective. Muma gets the nano, still alive. Fighting J-Mac tooth and nail in this icy cage between the two. But Krillin just threads in the Bionade. The Spitfire get the better of that one.
And Muma there losing his shatter to the freeze of Shui. So all important cooldown is lost, and J-Mac using his shatter earlier, I mean, although both got nothing out of it, J-Mac has been able to charge up a new shatter, but huge infrasight lead for Linkser that's going to give him a big edge. Might be exactly what they need to attempt a retake.
Well, they're going to attempt to go for this now, but it's real dangerous. Bernard's bomb is going to have great opportunity. Both Ryans charge into each other, but Muma pays the price. Out of the fight immediately. The Spitfire, they're going to drop the Blizzard. I think they want to save ults here if possible. They're going to be able to do just that. The Blizzard, more than enough.
Does cost them the Blizzard, though. That is a key ultimate, and they're securing this capture point, but with only 2 minutes on the clock, that's about an average hold for Houston, so this map isn't decided quite yet.
And getting to average holds, what would you say is the amount of holds that Outlaws need to get here on point B to feel good about themselves?
I think absolute minimum, you need to be winning at least one fight. You don't want to be giving London a 5-minute time bait going into this third point. You want to be limiting it to 2 to 3 minutes, ideally on the defense, or potentially getting a hold here, but Infosight's going to make it tough. How do you get the approach when the enemy knows exactly where you are?
Lister right now sees everything, knows everything, and the Outlaws do not care. They just walk forward, move off the Nano. J-Mac, though, dropping the Shatter a little bit later, puts Mooma on the ground, takes it for a ride. Mooma hoping for a little bit of extra HP, gets the extra HP. Raucous right there with the heal. The Outlaws hanging in for now. They drop the Blizzard. They put J-Mac into the ground. Bomb for Bernard, though, back the other way, deals the Juxay, and this is back and forth.
Spot advantage, though, is going to play towards London here, although Glister is in all the way in the back with Krillin. They need to find some pickoffs in this location, but looks like it's the Outlaws who may be slowing down here, running out of time, and with the spawn advantage heavily in their favor, they're going to be able to get the win, but not until after a massive stall. And Shui out of the Genji. That's a very strange choice here. Maybe he wants to add some pressure onto Linkster, but Linkster's going to switch quickly over to this McCree.
Yeah, Linkster does not want to play any part of that game, but so far we can say the Outlaws have drained enough clock off of point B, or do they need one more?
Well, I think this is fine already, but you might be able to win a fight here. Shui on the Genji is going to struggle. He doesn't really have much of a dive counterpart, so it's going to be up to him and Bernard to dive the backline, but it's no longer a defenseless Widow. You've got McCree to contend with, so could be tough for London Spitfire. Another massive sleep on Meko, though.
Mooma gonna protect him. Meanwhile, looking for the Shatter attempt. Fire Strike comes in. A little bit of pressure from the back. Meko and Mooma, the front line, unable to be healed, but there's Nano blocked by Mooma. Pretty nice block. Now moving the other way. Heavy damage on the J-Mac. Looks for the stun. Counter charge is there. Shatter ready to go. Linkster's down. He's doing some work in the back line. And Mooma cannot find an opportunity to drop the Shatter. He's getting pressure on all ends, and down he goes.
Perfect defensive play from J-Mac, keeping himself alive, buying time for Krillin to charge up that nano boost. But as I was saying, Outlaws, they're able to get the clock down to 2 minutes. It should be less than a 4-minute time bank, and it is. Still, though, that's a lot of time to work with for London Spitfire. The awkwardness is, though, it cost them a nano to cap that point, and you've got this Dragon Blade, no nano to pair with it. It's going to be tough to get value for Shui here. It's really rough to get those blade kills without the nano boost to charge you up for the one-shots.
You got opportunity, though. Imagine if you do have a great Dragon Blade without the nano. You don't have easy mode at that point. Do it the old school way.
It is possible, but I'd be surprised. He's going to go in for it, very aggressive.
Well, he's going for it. It's going to work. Ends up with one. Slices on over. Shui says, I don't need no nano. Does the work. And the Outlaws now in a tougher spot.
Linkster, though, does find that crucial last-second pickoff. Going to mean Bernard is not available to be in this fight, but Linkster's going to get caught out even later than that, and Shui escaping with his dash reset.
This is looking kind of clean from Shui so far, and definitely it's giving the Outlaws a little bit of a fit here, Jake.
Definitely, they're going to have to stabilize. They have to win a fight here. Backs against the wall in the map, in the series, but they do have ultimate advantage. Hydration has a Blizzard, and there's no May on the other side.
Lister, plenty of room to work with, under a little bit of pressure, not a big deal. Gotta go for the recon site. Now he knows where Linkster is. He's looking for the opposition. Linkster not giving the sideline. Oh, wait, Linkster peeked.
That's so important for Linkster, though. He gets the scout. He knows where the enemy Widow is. He's able to play defensive now.
Lister decides to go for the team as a whole. Ends up getting Meko into space for his trouble. And now the nano goes on the J-Mac. Lister, those down. Hydration, long-range poke. Shatter, though, in. Puts Raucous to the ground. J-Mac is his own follow-through off the nano. But there's Mooma. Shatter knocks down 2. Is it gonna be enough to take down J-Mac? Meko's bomb doesn't quite clean up. And the Spitfire there withstanding off the beat as Shui gets 2.
Shui on this Genji is making it work with a very non-traditional comp. No Mei at all for the attacking team, but it's looking good for them. Shui with the Dragon Blade wants to clean this up.
The Outlaws, they're down to their final opportunity. 1:40 left to keep the series in contest. The Spitfire all over the payload. Here comes Shui once more. The Dragon Blade is out. Looking for it. Applying pressure. Hydration already down. Blister's done that much. Shui a little bit lost towards the end. Blister gets caught by Mooma. And Mooma coming into play. The Outlaws do not fall just yet.
Blister finds that pickoff onto Hydration, but I think that's going to cost them because it led Shui to waste his dash, and with no dash resets, he's not able to chain that into multiple kills as he was surely hoping for there. So this is a crucial stabilization. Shui going to switch back over to the Mei, but he's got no ultimate charge, and Hydration is almost on his next Blizzard.
This is real tough for the Spitfire. They had a good thing going with the Genji, but As you say, they wanted the Dragon Blade. They're not going to have it. They go back to the May. The Outlaws have a real chance to force a map 5.
Definitely one pickoff from Linkser could spell disaster, but just as easily it could go the other way.
We'll see what they got. Muma holding on to the Shatter to start the fight. Not a lot of extra support for him so far. Meanwhile, J-Mac opens with the Nano, looking to build a Shatter of his own. Drop the Fire Strike. It was Eden moving forward. The Outlaws just holding back right now. J-Mac still not there. Bernard looking to clear the way. The bomb to the back. Everyone dodges. And now Muma frozen, but protected by his own May. They're looking to turn the tide. The Shatter blocked. A nice block from Muma, but Neko gonna get demec'd. That's one for London here. Glister gets another. It isn't Glister time. Muma finally drops the Shatter, gets nothing! The Shatter does absolutely nothing, and Glister's free to roam.
Sound Barrier does come out from Jexit just in time, trying to keep these last remaining members still alive. Muma, though, he has to just hold shield on card, buy time for his teammates to get back out. Linkser has the infra He's going to need to find more than that, though.
We'll see if Linkser can get a pick off this game. Oh, he does! Takes down Glister! The Outlaws needed that one, but Muma is down. Linkser gets another! Linkser, the hero the Outlaws need! They just gotta make sure to stay on the point. Linkser with 3. Does he have 4? Looking for the Ana. Ruckus on the assist. And this is the Outlaws. We're in overtime, and we might be going to map 5. It's over. Map 5 it is.
I said he needed more, and he absolutely delivered. Finland's gift to Esports. The Dixer is back, baby, and it feels so good.
What a gift to the crowd here. It was looking like it might have been a sweep. But now, Jake, it very well could be a reverse sweep of a different variety.
Yeah, looking really good for the Houston Outlaws. Momentum now surely in their favor, winning the last 2 maps and looking so great in so many moments.
So now for the Outlaws, we'll see if they can finish the course, finish reverse sweep. We'll find out soon.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Zip Chair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League.
There is life here yet in Houston. Down 2 maps. Now they've brought it to a map 5, and we get to see if they can complete the reverse sweep now.
I love to see it. It's certainly looking possible. The energy is palpable here in the arena. Houston fans have come out in force to support their team, and it looks like it's making a difference. Houston coming back from the brink, forcing a map 5 at this point. There's been so many great moments from this Houston squad. I'm really impressed to see this total turnaround.
It's been great to watch. In particular, you think about how it all began back on Anubis, Blase putting the team on his back, just saying, we got this, we got this. Then we move into Junkertown. Great performances across the board, whether you look at Meko, whether you look at Linkser back in form. It's been a transformation. We do have some substitutions here. Linkser, he's back out, but Blase back in the fray.
Blase, we'll see if he's able to keep up that Doomfist domination that he put out on Anubis. As we're going to this control map time, Doomfist can resurge here, can find some openings. But as well with Dante in, I'd be expecting that this means Houston wants to play a dive-heavy style. They want to focus on the flanks, but that's shown, we've been seeing more and more teams started to do that, started to succeed with it.
And I think we have to see a different style from Houston here, because you think back to map 1, they opened with Linkser and Hydration, which is more of a hit scan oriented setup for the Outlaws. Today, their game plan has been far more clear. Run Blase on the Doomfist. Do not mess around and run hit scan with the setup. So I do think this will be a different look Outlaws than what we saw back on our first control map earlier in the series.
Definitely, and I like that momentum switch. After losing the first control with the more classic, meta comp, the hit scan with the May, they're going to switch over to a dive strategy for our final control to decide it. So at the very least, we're throwing London off, giving them something, a new look, something to think about.
And the other thing, too, that London has had to fight the entire time is that you hear it in the background right now. The crowd has been the 7th man for the Outlaws, and we knew this would happen if they came to play.
And we talk so much about Linkser being a confidence player, but I mean, he better be feeling confident after this series. So many huge plays from him. Even though he's out now, he's clearly been a total star for this team in the series so far.
Ilios is where we're going to decide this one. And I have to say, we've talked a lot about the Houston story, but if you're a London fan, you're just looking at this going, oh no, we still lose to the Outlaws. It doesn't matter what the season is. Is this going to be the case this time?
We'll see as we get into our Ilios control series. We've seen a lot of teams play dive on this map, but different iterations of it have come out so far. Very interesting, though, we're seeing Blase on the Pharah. This is a very rare pick, with McCree being almost universally chosen. But if Glister comes out on the Symmetra, then I think Pharah could absolutely dominate the match.
Dante also going to a more historic pick of his, even before the Sombra, known for a great tracer.
Oh, you basically can't ask for a better matchup than this if you're a Houston fan. The Reaper and Moira comp, it's going to have a lot of point presence, but very vulnerable to getting picked off, and you've got no range hit scan to really pressure Blase on this Pharah. Dante as well is going to be free.
Step 1 for London, get to the point without losing anyone. Easier said than done when there's a Pharah in the air, but now they're making their move. They're trying to get Ord to the point, and so far Shui got slept. The rest of London in on the point. Outlaws poking from the side, but London gonna get first control. So far, London is doing their objectives.
Still, though, this is pretty much expected. Now it's time for the Outlaws to poke and prod, find a weakness in this team, but it's actually Muma who falls first.
Muma went a little bit too much into the box there, where it's stacked with London players. You gotta be more patient than that, Jake.
So far, Blase not able to find much of an opening on this Pharah. That's Bernard really shutting him down on the Diva. Glister as well, just doing his job, standing there on Reaper, putting pressure on Muma whenever he comes in. So Muma not able to charge much Primal Rage. Blase is going to switch over to the Doom, but this is going to force Houston into a much more brawly style. They do have a nano boost, though.
I would trust Blase to play Doom regardless of the situation after what we saw earlier today. We'll see if that trust is well-founded. Blase under bad pressure, and okay, well, down he goes. Maybe I was at fault for that one.
Maybe a bit of caster curse going on there. They do force the Coalescence out, though. That's a crucial defensive ultimate for the London Spitfire. Without that healing, they might potentially get caught off in the next fight. Sanguinar, though, 80% to the beat, so Houston would have to act fast to be striking before that window closes.
They're seeing their time quickly bleed away. 60% already for the Spitfire. This is a fight they need to get. Dante holding on to Pulse Bomb, looks for it, hits nothing but shield. Not what you're looking for here. Muma, meanwhile, getting very low in the outskirts. Blase unable to find a pick, but there it is. Gets Glister. That's a good way to start. Muma might be down, and so is Blase. Muma just kind of getting bullied right now, Jake.
So close to that Primal Rage, probably going all in, hoping he could finish it off, but London are just too quick to focus him down, and the control point is just ticking higher and higher. London, they're getting pressured on point, but still, oh, Dante's able to find the pickoff. That's massive.
Dante was not afraid of the Ryan in the corner. 6-on-5 for the Outlaws, and Blase is back on in. 91% for the Spitfire, but the Outlaws, they'll get their shot. This should be a point flip for the hometown team.
I should not have doubted Blase on the Doom. I take it all back. He's looking so clean, and now this is his moment. He's able to take whatever defensive position he wants, potentially disrupt London's move to point. I love this position from Blase. He knows London, there's team comp, they have to rush to point. That's essentially all that this Reaper enables them to do. They don't have the range to fight in an open area, but Houston gonna look to stymie them, stifle that movement before they can actually cross.
You hear the crowd. They're chanting the Outlaws' name. Let's see if that's enough. Muma holding on to the Primal Rage. This is a fight that is usually pretty good for the Winston. Right near the outskirts. They can't knock anyone into the ocean. Let's find out. Blase, meanwhile, finds the Moira. The healing for the Spitfire completely devastated. And the Outlaws, once more, a great team fight. And Blase will not stop.
Very well played by Muma with the Primal Rage. First, he forces Krillin to use that Fade ability before actually committing the Primal, and then the Primal, along with the help of Blase, is able to clean up that Moira, and without that insane amount of burst healing, there's no way to survive the pressure that the Outlaws are putting out.
You know, it's a fun reminder. Doom got nerfed a little bit before this Overwatch League season. Tell Blase that.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to know or care, and I love that from Blase, playing with confidence, playing his best hero, and it's really working out. And another Nano Boost is available for Raucus. Who will get it this time?
Dante holding on to Pulse Bomb. Shatter in from J-Mac, puts Muma to the ground. Muma, though, able to escape the Nano, a big part of that. He's frozen again. Muma again, under a rough spot, ends up falling. We'll see if Blase can bring this one back, but it's going to be more difficult. The Outlaws, though, this is overtime. They cannot retreat. Blase is down, and that might be the rest of the hope for the Outlaws at the same time.
Too many ultimates in the tank here for London. It looks like it's just all cleanup for them on this first round of control. They should be able to secure it. A last-minute contest from Muma on the Hammond. Quick rollout, but ultimately for naught, as everyone from London still alive, holding down the point. And that's the first round of map 5 going to the London Spitfire.
If you are the Outlaws, you're going, it's fine. We'll just make map 5 a microcosm of the entire series. We'll have our mini reverse sweep.
A mini reverse sweep to complete a macro reverse sweep. I'll take it. As we move on to this next control point stage, I want to see Blase starting off on the Doomfist. Bernard was just a little too adept at shutting down the Pharah. I think the Doom gets a lot more value. Even on that first map is arguably one of the weaker maps for Doomfist in this pool. So happy to see Blase on the same hero as we go into this Ruin stage. Should enable him to cross the map and follow up on what Dante can scout for him on the Sombra.
Also, I think Dante being on the Sombra is just a better pick in general. I think Sombra's a little bit stronger in this meta. Definitely, I think, an even stronger hero for Dante. So this is the best look for the Outlaws coming on out for what could be the final round.
Muma as well on the Hammond, gonna get vision on absolutely everybody. Call this out to his team. Lucio wants a fight, but I think Muma's ready for that duel.
Muma's ready for it, but he does have to get out. Doesn't want to spend too much time behind enemy lines. Meanwhile, Glister looking for his shots. The Outlaws, meanwhile, looking to dive on in. Muma, bit all over the place right now.
He's eaten all the megas, and he's looking for more, but London, they're gonna have to cross the point soon. They can't stay in the backfield forever. J-Mac essentially all alone here, and a great punch from Blase pushes him off point again.
Meanwhile, though, Raucus is down as Muma, who's playing Hungry Hamsters, a little bit hungry for Glister in the back. Not a bad trade. The Outlaws with more progress on the point, as Blase waiting for the next opportunity again. Too low, and ooh, can't quite get to the health pack.
But Jexa and Muma starting to find the pickoffs. Both supports falling for London, so no sustain left for this tanky comp. Now Muma able to just dance around them, put the pressure on. This should be first control for Houston with another huge spree by Jexa.
The Outlaws maintaining control, gonna get the first cap. And so far, the Hammond for Muma might be his best look all day long.
Definitely, I'm excited to see it. I think Winston gets targeted a little too quickly by this Mei, by this Reaper. Hammond a lot more durable, able to survive those dives into the backline, even if they get frozen, able to sometimes escape, unlike when Winston can often suffer in that same situation.
The other thing, too, about going to the Hammond, it got Glister off the Widow. They don't have to worry about the Widow threat. They just try and keep London off the point, but ooh, Raucus somehow gets picked off by Shui. I think it was a little bit deep in. That's a little bit difficult. The Outlaws do not have the healing to fight straight up now.
Definitely not. They're going to have to stall point, but they do have a lot of options for that. They are going to shatter Meko, but he's got the self-destruct as well with the EMP. There's no shields to block it.
EMP bomb out. It's enough to take down Shui, but I'm not sure it's enough to win the fight. London still looking pretty healthy on here, but Blase can change that real fast. Muma, though, down, and Blase finds Krillin, but J-Mac there on the punish.
Everyone from the Outlaws going in, just trying to stall this point out. Raucus is going to die again after control is flipped, so about halfway there for the Houston Outlaws, but so far, looks like London now able to take control. They've got the sound barrier, no EMP just yet for Dante, but looks like both teams gonna make a switch back to a more traditional Rhine comp, and I feel that Houston has a bit of an advantage here. Shui, with very little farm on his EMP, not gonna have an opportunity to hack a Hammond because Movement already switched off to the Rhine. It's great intelligence swap there.
The Outlaws are also working with a pretty big advantage in progress. So right now, this round is... Oh! Krillin just right hooked into the pillar. Really nice stuff from Blase, and that makes the fight easy. Or so you would think. Glister starting to bring it back on the other side, and the Outlaws might have counted their blessings a little bit too early here. But still looking for a way back in. London is still in control of this point, Jake.
Still though, it cost Sanguinar his sound barrier just to keep that fight alive for a few more seconds. Glister stalling the point as well with his Wraithborn, trying to get his teammates back into the fight. And now it's J-Mac's turn to try and hold point. So you expect to see the aggression from the Outlaws coming in. They need to get this cap closed out. EMP from Dante to secure it.
Immediately drops the EMP. It's a 4-man EMP, and it's enough to seal J-Mac's fate. The Outlaws now swarming the point, looking for the retake. London at 63, but Houston looking like they're very close to getting it. London just trying to delay here, Jake.
Still though, Shui able to farm his EMP up during the chaos, just delaying point here, but just delaying the inevitable, it seems, as Houston now in full control. The only issue is Shui does have that EMP, and Dante had to use his to secure the point. So what is Houston going to do to be able to survive this EMP Shatter combo? Kind of a classic Overwatch combo we saw so much of last season. They're going to have to be ready to let Muma take the Shatter and just try and keep him alive with the nano potential.
More than that, maybe don't let them get a clean team fight. Get an early pick of Doom, and okay, Muma a little bit far forward, immediately down, but there's Blase. The counterplay on the other end deals with Shui. There won't be an EMP, and that means the Outlaws very well could take this fight. They just kind of baited Muma. It's like, yeah, take that Muma, it's fine. We got Blase, he's got 3 kills, and the Outlaws are doing it.
Blase, what an absolute hero for the Outlaws in their darkest hour. That's exactly what they need. You can't EMP if you're dead, he says. Muma, though, caught out with that default hack. Should signal opening. Bernardo, that's such a late pickoff. He won't be here in the final fight. Shui's going to have to touch point and teleport out. It's going to make it much more difficult to get a good EMP.
Just like an Optimus Prime here. Optimus Blase taking down the Decepticons. But now we'll see what Shui has. He still has the EMP, an upside of not having to use it last fight, but okay, he's in danger. Jexa chase him down as Brigida. Shui just barely able to get out. And now is the time for the EMP. Up, over, hits 4, and Muma immediately erased from the fight. And Glister gonna finish the rest off. But for the Outlaws, Jake, they still have time.
Definitely a retake will be coming in here. Unfortunately, though, for the London Spitfire, the only ult that might be ready is that sound barrier, and Dante has his EMP online already, so Outlaws, they've got a ton of ultimates to work with here. This is an advantage fight for them, but with only roughly 15 seconds left on the clock, it's time for the Outlaws to rally, make their way back into the point.
The crowd is on their feet. They want to see the Outlaws take this round, force a final round 3. Dante, all you have to do not fall. Get your EMP off. The Outlaws should have it. Moves to the back, drops the EMP, hits 3, Krillin's in danger, J-Max down, and the Outlaws right back onto the point. And this is looking like a round 3 is very much in the cards.
It's very possible here. It's all Houston on the point. Bernard does find Raucus, but it shouldn't be enough here. J-Mac, desperation mode, gonna switch over to the Hammond. Shui has to teleport out again, can't even keep the OT going. And we're going to our final round of our final map. Can Houston do it? I believe.
What's better than a reverse sweep, than having a second mini reverse sweep on your final control map? The Outlaws, that is what they're looking for here. And it's all been powered by Mr. Blase.
Absolutely monstrous performance. I love seeing Dante back on his Sombra. He's been so comfortable and so confident on this hero before. Bring him out on it. You know, like we've seen other teams have success on this comp. Why not give it a try? It seems like this is something that Houston could really succeed at, given the star power that they do have on the roster.
The Outlaws, they were down in a hole, but they've fought it back. It's all even now between the Spitfire and the Outlaws. We'll see if they can bring this one home in front of the hometown crowd.
Very interesting, though. It's going to be a dive mirror, and with Shui and Sanguinar on that far on Mercy, could give them a bit of an advantage. Doomfist can struggle in a dive mirror.
Shui up in the air, just going, if I'm in the air, surely the Doomfist cannot one-shot me. Mostly true.
Meko, though, going to be an absolute thorn in Shui's side. He's only just now able to turn his attention to the rest of the team, but Muma's dropping quite low, and Krillin dives in and on top of some good spam on Raucus.
Raucus, I think, went forward trying to heal Muma, but it wasn't enough. Instead, both are out of the fight. It's going to be an unceremonious, easy first take for the Spitfire.
Raucus getting picked off a lot in this final map. He's going to need to clean it up and stay alive, survive long enough to potentially match. But I love the switch from Blase onto the Tracer. This is going to give them a little bit more potential to poke up at that Fire Mercy. A stick onto Muma. They need to finish this kill, but they can't. That's only going to charge up Raucus' Coalescence now.
Muma was real close to falling there. Luckily, right near a health pack. And the heals from Raucus kept him in the fight. Now the Outlaws looking for a way back in, putting faith in the Tracer. However, the air dominated by Shui. They're really waiting for the EP, but there's Blase! Wins the Tracer v Tracer. We'll see if it's enough. Right now, both teams 4-on-4. Shui, a lot of room to work with. Gonna be taking down Meko soon. There's the barrage over to the side and takes down Meko. That should be enough.
Maybe, though, Raucus still alive with his own Coalescence, keeping this fight going. Muma charging into the back line.
And right now for the Spitfire, how long do you try and delay? You still have Shui in the air. You still have a threat. But the Outlaws, they have more on the ground, and the Spitfire, right now, they're deciding to go back in, and Muma falls! Shui was able to find him, and Shui finds a little bit more than that, takes down Blase, and Shui can't be stopped! It's 3 for Shui!
Oh no, this is starting to look really grim for the Houston Outlaws. They've given up so much control, not able to get the flip during that fight. London able to build up their ults for another cycle. This will be Houston's last chance, really, to win a solid team fight, but they do have the tools that they need to potentially make it happen.
Now Houston truly down to their final chance. They fought so hard to bring this one back. Can they rally one more time? Blase moving on in, the pulse bomb ready. Holding on to the opportunity. Blister's pulse bomb does little. Jexay though down. Taken down by Bernard. The Outlaws fighting 5-on-6. Puma mid primal looking for the disruption. The Spitfire getting forced back a bit, but it's 95%. The Outlaws have yet to take down anyone on the Spitfire, and this is looking grim. Overtime it is, and Muma's down.
The D.Va out of suit. Nobody's here to stop Shui's barrage. He is hacked, though. Dante standing tall, trying to keep this fight going. Raucus with the Coalescence as well. Able to take down Shui. This could be the start of something. But still, the Outlaws, they need to regroup. They're spread all over the map.
They dealt with Shui right now, which is one of the bigger threats. They've bought themselves a little bit of time. Meko, though, D-Mac for the Spitfire, holding on. But the Spitfire also have some room to play with. They don't have to invest everything into this fight. It's 9-9-0. Oh. Pulse bomb sticks! Jexay's down! Glistener making an impact right back into the fight. Shui's back in. The barrage, the finisher over the top. Outlaws, you came so far, but it wasn't quite enough. The Spitfire take the series 3-2.
Wow, the Houston Outlaws put on an absolute show there, almost making that reverse sweep happen, but it's London in the clutch. Shui's Pharah coming in so clean there, and it's so effective on well in the dive mirror. That Pharah able to slip past Meko, a known dominant D.Va. So Shui, we've got to commend him for that, able to stay alive, keep those fights going long, and that Pharah Mercy just really starting to clean up as the fights really drag out.
Seems like a really tough round for the Outlaws at the same time, where you look at that, it's really not a great Doom moment, especially when you're dealing with the Pharah. The Pharah play, very, very big brain. But of course, now I see it, the players shaking hands in our Coca-Cola victory moment. And you gotta think both teams absolutely taxed after that one.
That's such a close series, blows being traded both ways. Houston not able to get their first win yet, but things look so good for them. So many great moments, especially seeing Linkser back in the lineup, dominating on the hit scan. Great moments from him, so hopefully his confidence able to return a bit, get some of that dominance back. But I mean, after the series, I could totally see Houston turning this season around.
I think if you're Houston, you look at the series and go, okay, you didn't walk away with the W, but it was still a positive takeaway here. It's not like you got swept, you almost brought it back.
Yeah, definitely. And that's the toughest thing to do as a team, especially when things are going pretty rough for you, to be able to be down in a series and still have the confidence, the hope, the trust in each other to be able to bring it back, or very nearly. And they did. They brought us as far into the series as humanly possible. I really think it was ultimately just a strategic issue here at the end, coming out on that Fire Mercy, preemptively countering Blase's Doomfist, maybe starting to expect it at that point in the series, and it really gives them the first control. And from there, London doing a great job, to be fair, of snowballing that first control, staying aggressive on the dive pump, not letting Raucus in.
One of the key parts for London that really enabled this all day long, you gotta give it to J-Mac. in the main tank battle. He was blocking shatters. He was bullying Muma. He was everywhere, especially at the beginning of the series.
Yeah, we saw so many great plays from him, and as well, I want to highlight his Winston play on that final round, getting a lot done, being aggressive, following up those plays from his Tracer, from his Pharah, and opening things up as well for the Moira. J-Mac, such a dominant player on the ride, new face in the Overwatch League, but he's showing he belongs here. I saw him all series long, late, exactly last second charge blocks onto Muma, finding those shatter blocks for his team, just doing everything that a Reinhardt needs to do.
And he was a player that people were a little bit critical of early in the season, going, I don't know, J-Mac looks a little bit shaky out there. Well, he's still a new player to the league. Sometimes it takes a few matches to really find your rhythm, and J-Mac today, one of the brightest spots of the Spitfire roster.
Definitely, what a great match, but let's check out what we have coming up for you tomorrow. Lots of very exciting matches in the docket.
It's a 4-match day. We're going to be kicking it off with the Uprising taking on, that's right, the Fusion, the #1 team in the league. After that, it's going to be the Eternal taking on what looks to be a very scary Atlanta Reign team. Then we move forward to Spitfire, looking for a little bit of mayhem as they look after Florida. And then we're going to end the day with the hometown team once more. It's going to be the Toronto Defiant, who did look mortal today, up against the Houston Outlaws. But thank you, everyone, for tuning in now. But the fun's not over quite yet. We got Watchpoint to break down all the action we just saw.